Young Drill is outside, kind of in the fields area, or doing something. It seems to be that they're communing with the spirits in some way. Given intrigue of that, I wouldn't be surprised if Jebabu might have went out there and said something, but for the time being, Jebabu's here in the tavern, along with Snowcap and Abaddon. And I'd also say, besides kind of the assumed people who are working at the tavern, as I mentioned earlier, including the criminal of sorts, whom was had a nasty scarred face and liked to wear some thing to cover it. Also, Attic is present, and since it wasn't really not with too much, the Memaphodon is also still present outside, still in a state of unconsciousness, albeit as I described last session. It's been kind of bandaged up to some degree. People have kind of done what they can here and there. Jevabu, Snowcap, and Abaddon sit at a table.
Do we meet in a tavern?
Yes.
Shit.
Jovo, can you excuse me and move?
The fuck?
Is there something I can use to grill something?
Bro, I'm literally here.
Oh, was that?
That's
Okay.
funny.
There is the person in question kind of looks to you and back and is like, yeah, I can cook something up. This Arnold fella seems to be helpful with that. He's starting to make something with some of the dried meat we got back. You know? Yeah. She says with kind of a voice that kind of entails that she's kind of stressed out a bit because of everything, but and also not fully clear what's going on, but kind of just accepting things. Like there's not a lot of like, no one's really told her what went down and what happened at the well, what happened. Oh boy, you know, at that particular location and all the shit, and they don't even know what's, you know, where some of their friends are, but they seem to assume that things are all right, and that Abaddon's back. Because last time they heard anything was Abaddon was a bit ruder than they remember them being. Especially, I would say, in regard to Phylaxi, who I'd say is right outside the tavern, currently talking to Attic.
I have a strange request that I don't really want questions about. Snowcap hands him a
Her. Or I can't actually. I don't know who you're referring to. Oh wait, you could be.
Attic, Attic or whatever his name is. Not Attic. Arnold.
Arnold. Okay.
A dried and heavily salted appendage with not a lot of meat on it. It looks to be an arm of some kind without the hand.
What did Arnold looks deep. Well, hell, ooh, I can work with this. Yeah, I can work with this. You guys did spare me from that guy over there, but is it white or dark meat?
Oh, it is.
This is just a miscolored axe beak, I assume. A leg of theirs, the scales removed. I'm assuming that's it. Yeah, I'll go by that. That's fine with me. No questions asked.
It'd be red meat.
Okay. Okay, maybe actually we'll ask one question.
I had the
Actually,
Google
should I?
whether it be. I had to Google whether it be white or dark meat. White and dark meat is more of a poultry thing.
I know. That's why they mentioned axe beak. Because they're trying to kind of shift their views on it, maybe help pretend in their mind it's not what they think it is. Albeit they
It's
don't really
dark
know
meat.
what it is, given how weird it is. It's a very, like, I don't know, like a
It's sculpted.
frost-covered, like, odd arm.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have one question.
Yes.
They kind of, they look around. They kind of, recognize the fact that, you guys are pretty far north, but given the volcanic explosion and lots of other stuff, it's not the coldest right now. I mean, yes, obviously the sun was blocked out for a little while, but it's not the coldest place. Um, and it's not like you guys are in a snowstorm or anything. And the arm base you seem to be from, or whatever it may be, seems to be very cold. And they look to you. Have you how have you been storing this? Uh,
It,
where does okay go?
it's
Oh,
it's a it's magically chilled.
okay. Um, hmm. You see them like start to wonder, like maybe that means it might not be a person, but maybe it could be something else because they're not thinking hags right now. Hags are human-like, but not that human-like. But this is
Uh,
clearly like a weird arm you've given them.
Also, Arnold is probably the only like one that would recognize that it's like some sort of humanoid, as Arnold's a hunter,
Well, yeah.
and
Question: Is it?
and there's no hands attached to it.
A question, Abaddon? Was it a meta question or in character question?
Meta. Is it Yagram's arm that you're cutting off
No,
and
No,
pickling to hug all night, or what the fuck's going on?
no. What I will, ooh, no. If you're looking back there, I'll let you do a perception check. But that's like if that's assuming if Snow Cap didn't do so like kind of
I did
secretly
it
or
in
not
front of the
secretly.
party.
Oh, you did do it in front of the party because you could look
Yeah.
like you walked into the kitchen partially to do it.
No, I mean like getting the arm. I did it in front of
Oh,
the
yeah, I mean
party.
that too. But my thing is they might not remember what it might that moment directly, and so if they can see it from a distance, they might recognize it.
Uh,
Well, I think I can work with this. Would you mind if I asked what it was?
The less you know, the better. The less I
Okay.
have to explain.
All right. So Arnold gets out to work, and it's they seem to start kind of well, peeling it and slicing it and deboning it essentially and putting it into the stew. That they're making. Additionally, I do want to mention the other person here is the owner of this tavern, who is Vera. I feel like I've kind of put away that name a little bit. Their name is Vera, and they are kind of a bartender here. If you guys had ordered drinks, they would have brought you out drinks about now. Meanwhile, Alexei seems to kind of move out to do something, and Attic kind of enters the place a little bit. Meanwhile, sorry, not meanwhile. As they're doing that, you guys, actually, while we're doing that, Jebaboo, are you in or outside the tavern?
Probably just outside, like where I am.
Okay. Attic looks to you, and they kind of see that drinks are being served inside, and it's likely they'll probably go inside, but they kind of look to you, and they begin to take their helmet off, kind of revealing their what they look like. Question: do you know what they look like prior? As in, do Jebu have any expectation? If you don't know, that's okay. If you don't remember, that's fine.
I don't. I feel like they were something like an elf, but I don't.
Okay, no. Okay,
remember.
that's okay. So no.
Yeah, and I don't think Jobu's ever seen them without
Okay.
their helmet off.
Is context is helpful. All right. Now, if I can actually find. Oh, there we go. As said, they're tall. Now, you are technically taller than them, but they're also themselves fairly tall. For a Goliath, they are within. I mean, there are some Goliaths who reach like 9 to 10 feet. You know. However, that's rare. Most, though, are tall. Like a 6'2" Goliath would be considered short. Most Goliaths are like 6'5", 6'7", 6'8", 6'10", with plenty being in the 7 range. Yeah, 6'7". Being in that range. And then there's some that are around like a good number that are 7 feet tall. However, actually, let's put this in the min chat, not the game chat. It's a odd way to do that. But they seem, based off their height, you can clearly tell that they're around at least 8 feet tall, probably like 8 feet 5 inches, 6 inches. It's hard to tell with the armor, but they seem to be kind of, well, obviously a woman. That was kind of assumed, but they are a Goliath. And their face is rather, well, that's not deeply soft. I mean, it's a kind of, they've definitely had some hard experience, but given everything, it is slightly surprising that they, well, their general look. It's hard to say that, like, oh, this person, like, was some hardened, like, warrior, and they are, obviously. But they look, they're more pleasant on the eyes than one would expect. Albeit they do have some clear, scars on their, like, bottom lip and all sorts of things. And they kind of look to you. Jeffaboo. I have some things I need to tell you. I don't know how much I trust everyone here, but I've decided I want to trust you. Additionally, there's something I learned that you may find upsetting. I may need to prove this claim to you. If I have to, I have the means to. But I don't know how to do this. I have learned something. As I last saw you, it was many weeks ago, or sorry, but it was a couple days back. And I need an answer. How many of you Mimophodons are present across the sea? Wherever you come from. I guess where I assume you come from,
Oh,
that large island.
when all the tribes combine, even still less than 200. We are very, very few in number.
Okay. If I were to tell you that recently, but also for some time, that number may have been lower than that significantly, would you believe me? Would you believe me?
If that number was really lower, or if it had been lower previously.
What I'm saying, or asking you, is that I have reason to believe that not only has there been a culling, that I think that it's possible, given, and I can explain this if needed, you may have been manipulated in a memory sense. When did you first meet your companions?
I met them probably something like 3-4 weeks ago.
What setting?
It was in like an auditorium in Oscarval, I believe.
Okay.
That is where the poachers took me, and where I met my friends here.
If there were... Actually, let me ask this question. You were at a theater. Or were you a item of display? A spectacle? An oddity?
Yes, one of the professors there thought I was quite the specimen.
Okay. A reason for that is that there are, and, well, I'll say this. I was with the Blue Ravens for some time. I've also seen many maps. I've traveled a lot and I understand what kind of existence one can have along certain environments, how many there can be of one kin, as how many what the land's resources give. And I hate to tell you this, but you are an oddity. Because there were far fewer than 200 left. I don't know how to tell you this, but it's either, again, that number is likely wrong. And my understanding would be a memory issue, but it could be something else. Do you understand the implication of that?
Yes.
Because of what the other thing could be.
What is the other thing?
How many... What do you remember as a child? How many do you remember there being? What... Describe it, if possible. Just... You don't have to do that. I'm sorry. It's...
Well,
I'll just say...
it is hard to get an exact number because we travel in small groups and meet maybe once a year if we are lucky. Maybe 2, 3 years.
Okay, well... Maybe it's kind of varied. I guess what I'm trying to tell you is that there's a chance your memories are from a longer time ago than you would have thought they were. Which could be due to time passing and you perhaps moving with it in a non-normative manner. But aside that, the reason I tell you this is I possess a Zalago within me, and it can tell me things about the world around me, and it can sense things and understand things, and it has memories of its own, and I'm sorry, this build-up is for a purpose, but do you think I should have just outright told you that you're the last of your kin that stepped foot on that island? Would you believe me if I told you that? Or at least, like, you're the only living one?
Oh, that is impossible. Just over 6 weeks ago, I was heading south. I said goodbye to my tribe and what?
And that's why I said recent killings as well.
Are you saying
That's the
something
other
has
part.
happened?
Yes.
Something has happened to my home? Why not just start there?
Because
Yes, I would believe.
the way I would start it is that, from my understanding, the city of Gress, at a meat market, your kin were being sold. Your kind, which hasn't been commonplace there for a while. If anything, it's an oddity. And I know this for means I can explain. If you need evidence, I can get you it. But I tell you this because I believe your goals are righteous, and I believe you're a decent person. And I believe that it's important that you know. Again, you don't have to trust me. You can go on and deny what I said. But I worry that the reality of your kin and their state in the world isn't what you understand it to be. But your goal and ambition, from what I understood initially when I met you, made me think you knew it.
How did you come by this information?
That's where things get a little, well, through reading the minds of others, that within me has processed things. They also have previously, around 15 years ago, been present in the Tusbat tundra. The settlement of Gathua was one of the last settlements of your kin, and that's likely where the last remained. If you've seen others, they are among the few, but most likely gone. I have, additionally, I'm sorry, I understand, I've gone through grief and I understand it, but I don't know how I can give this to you without it being a slog and me going through the details of how I learned all this information and then just accept it, because I'm mostly trusting the thing within me and what it's heard, what it's seen. The city of Gress is far from here. Okay, I get that. I've personally, I've been around once or twice, and they were very brief. I mostly kind of went onward, but I've been in the territories of the Trell clan, and I know their habits. I know what they do, and I know their goals. And I know what occurred. It makes sense to me in my mind. The information I've been given through the minds of others, mainly those along, well, all of those survivors I saw in Aslog, some of them had known, which means they might have known longer than you expect to have known.
This is quite a lot you're telling me, and you are getting all this information from that parasite.
A lot of it, but to be honest with you, I've known of the low numbers of your kin for some time. There has been pushes to lie about it, but the Troll clan in the past has hunted your kin, and that's not the only people who have. And she kind of looks around, kind of in the distance towards some of the structures you know exist in this very town. And then she looks to the Myrmaphodon that's kind of sunk into the stone a bit. If you wish for truth, you can seek it out. I can gain things if I get lucky, I guess. I don't know if you're being hunted or not. I don't know if they know where you are. But I do have reason to believe that and I'll say it directly, and then I can go about our time. Several individuals were sold on a meat market in Gress, who are believed to have been obtained near or around the settlement of Gafua. There was at least 2 females, and I'm not sure how many males. I'm not sure if it was 3 to 5.
And you say they're making their way across the sea?
They might. I don't know if they're looking for you. I don't know if it's. I don't know what's fully going on in that end. It's possible, but I do know that they're are looking for your kin in general. There is that meat likely would, if not for the war, be sold farther south along. Probably hit there's a small settlement called Bulwark. It would probably be taken from there to Wurtengart and taken along the Eber River all the way to Altenwitz. Your kin is a delicacy. For people who know not what you are. Your allies are not people who have. I don't believe they've lied to you on this. It's the understanding of your existence is not something as harsh as maybe I'm pushing it, but it's. Don't feel like they lied to you if they've not told you things. It's not that they would have known. I mean, the number is more varied, but I have an understanding of what the circumstances are and what has been misstrued through population numbers in the past and other things. And so has that within me who's seen it firsthand. Meanwhile,
Well,
sorry. Actually, would you like to respond to that?
thank you for giving me this news. I know it's not easy to deliver. And then Jerry Boo's gonna walk off this way.
Attic seems like they were originally intending to walk into the tavern, but given that came off and functioned as it did, they kind of put their helmet on. They just kind of sit against the wall. And fought. By the way, if you wanted to, you could have roll insight on anything they have said. That was always valid. But we're going to go on to the rest of the party. Abaddon,
Yes.
are you doing anything at the moment?
Mainly just looking at what Snowcap's doing with an arm. Not
Okay.
really questioning it, but definitely keeping an eye on it.
All right.
So, what's up with the arm? Snowcap.
I didn't know you were good at identifying cuts of meat.
Well, it's either that or a very fucked up shin. What you
Do
know?
you not remember me salting it back in last night.
You know what? A lot has happened. Frankly, I did not remember. So, what's the plan with the arm? You want to pickle it?
Well, right now it's being grilled.
Can I have a piece of it? I want to try it.
Since when were you interested in hag meat?
Never, but this seems like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
I'll give you a piece.
That's what I was asking for. What the fuck's Jeroboam?
Can I roll a perception check to see how much I would have heard of their conversation? Because their conversation was just out this door.
Ian?
I'd say that, given how they went about things, they probably would have moved a bit farther away from the door as they spoke. With Attic kind of guiding them a little bit farther away. That being said, you have pretty good passive perception.
Yeah,
let's-
it's 22.
roll in addition to that, just roll a perception check. We can see how well. I mean, I'd say if you're gonna listen to them, I'd say your ears would be perked up in some way. So it's possible Abaddon could maybe kind of notice that you're listening in on something, not necessarily knowing
hear
what.
everything.
Would it be a disadvantage because they were also busy talking to the chef at the same time? Because things happen
I
at
guess
the
that
same
is.
time
I was
in universe. We're not just taking turns.
how I kind of imagined it. It was that the conversation began a little bit like after some of the chef questions were done, but
That's how I saw it too.
yeah, that's
Okay.
kind of what I was framing it as.
All
But I
right.
mean, if you want to frame it as that, it's fine too.
No, I was only inquiring. I'm not being a stickler.
Look
Okay.
at my roll.
Okay. But before you go, Lear, I'd like you to roll a 1d100.
You're having them roll a 1d100, you said? Goulier is rolling a 1d100 question mark?
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, am I the only one in the call? Hello?
I'm sorry.
Yes, you're the only one in the call.
Right? They rolled an 84. You hear me, Ian?
Yes.
Okay.
So, with an 84, following occurs. When you were at the infirmary, Scar and Zunar were there, along with the wounded people you were. Well, I guess the wounded woman, or I guess the Minotaur is also there. The two folks you were to revive. Seeing your kind of noble efforts, Scar kind of thinks about it, and then even though it's not necessarily as much as he would have liked to have gotten, he still feels that it's a meaningful something meaningful in him. So doing this is a gesture that he finds quite significant. And while you're kind of beginning doing some of these spells, they tap your shoulder and awkwardly kind of stumble away from you a second, and you feel like they just distributed their fire of Surtur into you, as in their 5%, taking you from 15 to 20%. Which, given certain things, and more so your race, is enough for me to say that you would have fire immunity. Additionally, actually, I have another question. Does the casting of those spells you're casting take an hour?
Yes,
Okay,
it
I don't
does.
know. Okay.
If you're
Would you like
wondering
to-
where they're typing in the voice chat text channel.
Okay, I saw that earlier. For some reason, I just expected them to shift to Roll20. I don't know why I thought that.
That might be wise.
Yeah.
Okay, so they'll be there a while. Scar would eventually start to head back to the tavern, leaving Zunar and you kind of alone there doing the work at hand. Unless there's someone who'd like to do something, I'm going to now switch focuses and head to Normalus. Is that fine? Or would anyone like to cover anything else? This is actually a little bit later than I initially intended to shift towards that.
Cheesecake, is there anything else Abaddon wanted to do? He has just committed several atrocities to the party and his people, and hasn't quite spoken up on that yet, if that gives you food for thought.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of give you guys a room to speak, and I realized I did, but the Jebabu thing lasted longer than I intended it for.
Cheesecake?
I was just waiting for everyone to finish up. Yeah, he would want to speak about it, but frankly, not everyone's here yet, and he kind of wants to address the whole of the party when it comes to that. So right now, he's just mainly sipping whatever he can. To work up the
Waiting
nerve.
for Hagar. He also wants to try to taste the Hagar.
Delicious.
Hey Abaddon, I don't remember. Did Jevabu give you back your sword last session?
Think you did?
Okay.
I was not clear on it because I was like, if it happened like after I said like I think we're gonna end here, but wait, maybe not, and there was like a confusing bit, and I think it might have happened during that period of time. Okay.
Just double checking.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Also, I'd say eventually the food gets well, that would happen a little later. I don't want to push things too far into terms of time. The rabbit stew, or sorry, the rabbit stew. No, well, I guess there's some dried meat. I didn't say what it was, but dried meat combined with some turnips, some ash cabbage, and the mystery meat eventually will be served. However, we're going to switch circumstances. For fate and virtue, the triviality. Nautilus has approached a large door, the gate of which you could be is the gate of Lorgalk, or more so, the entrance to the dungeon of Lorgalk. It is partially open, meaning you do not necessarily need to, as one of the doors is propped open. You can slide through if you wish.
I peek my head and glance in and do so. After I just give a quick cursory glance.
The first thing you notice immediately is with the space between these two huge, massive steel doors as part of this gate, is there's this. It's hard to notice, but your passive perception. Roll a I think your passive perception, you'd notice it. There's this thin membrane, almost, along these doors. It's not like a physical membrane, but it's like this weird thing. It's almost like perhaps like it's hard to say what exactly it is initially, but it looks like some type of. It could be an anti-magic field. It could be some type of time field. You're not sure what it is initially. You can roll an Arcana check if you'd like, though.
I would like that, yes. So I will do so. 17 total.
What you would know is this seems like it doesn't quite seem like an anti-magic field, but it does seem like something that limits what can happen within the space in regard to what's outside of it. As in, there's a couple different academic terms for this. Some people call it a dislocation field. Others kind of call it a like non-divination zone. It's kind of an oddity, but basically, from what you understand, if you enter the space, there may be added difficulties with just simply teleporting out of it to a known location outside of it. It's more to say that it's not something that you can simply enter via teleportation, and leaving via teleportation or other means maybe not as normative, as it may be corrupt. Like it may lead to you not getting to the exact location you want, or just failing. That's hard to say, but definitely getting into it or looking into it via any means is like generally non-possible.
Understood. This isn't my first time dabbling in similar magics. It was one of the reasons that I had so much struggle finding my son. So he is
Yeah.
I'd say he's actually terribly familiar with this brand of magics.
Yeah. So with that in mind, I could kind of view that as getting few extra points on the roll, but to add an additional thing, you would know for like what you would know is that there is a almost certainty that like the scrying spell, like if someone were to try to scry you and you were in the space, it would auto fail.
Okay, that's what I kind of figured. Divination is his whole subclass and subset, so this makes sense.
Okay. And do you enter the space?
Prior to entering, he will channel a power of his bloodline and cast Detect Magic. It is a Fearbulk spell I can cast once freely a day. That's why I worded it that way. So just for the next 10 minutes, I can sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of me.
Okay. The doors and, I guess, greater structure itself seem to be the means at which this field is being generated.
It's probably almost like the entire structure itself is very lightly glowing, is how I'm picturing it.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, with like the ash and flames and things, it would be hard to really notice it from like a distance at all. Like, so once you get kind of close, well, albeit you have pretty good eyes,
yes,
but like regardless, it would be kind of hard to see. Especially it might not even necessarily be visible to everyone.
Yes,
it's like kind of magic-y.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But he engages that spell and tentatively steps into the fortress.
Okay. You enter a space that is rather foreboding, and it seems to be a great hall, or more so a large hallway. But the ceiling goes up probably 120 feet at least. And there are several doors, 6 on either side. The hallway probably goes around 300 feet. And there's a large gate at the end. Some of these doors are open, some are closed. This is not a silent place, too, either. You can hear in the distance the clacking of hammers, the work of steelmen, of blacksmiths, but much larger than yourself. You can hear distant breathing from one particular one, or maybe another, as they strike like a mighty anvil and exhale.
I lied. I do not cast Detect Magic, because I forgot, because I'm not physically on the map, that I am concentrating on my goal, my Earth Elemental.
Okay.
But him and myself just start walking.
Given that
approaching
reveal
the-
wasn't major, I think it's okay.
Yeah. We, myself and the Earth Elemental walk forward, not noisily, but not particularly stealth either. We're not trying to be secretive in our approach, is functionally what I'm saying. We're not being noisy about it, but we make our way to the most nearby door that is ajar currently.
Okay. As you do so, you see it looks to be it seems to go down a hallway that curves, and you notice something kind of standing along the hallway. Not a giant, a much smaller figure, but you see a creature of metal, of perhaps of bronze. They kind of remind you of a dwarf, but not too heavily. Their face looks like a face of anguish, but maybe that might just be their default expression. It's hard to say. From their hair, there is no keratin, only flames. I'd say that you would know this creature, as an Azir.
Okay,
They seem to look
yes.
upon you and look in your direction. They look like they might be a guard, but given they're so small compared to, the spaces within, it might just be like a worker or something.
Do they appear to be approaching me?
They look into your direction and seem to ready themselves, not necessarily to attack you, but to, like, they have their shield in hand in case you do something. They're definitely, but they also look like they might be ready to speak to you, like as if they're expecting you to speak to them. But their shield is definitely kind of upheld in case you do something.
I would like to just roll an insight check to see if I'm actually certain that they have appeared to notice me or not. Would that be okay?
Yes. Question: are you visible via normal means right now? Is there anything that's changing your vision?
I am not invisible, so yes.
Yes. Okay.
15. To see if they are actually noticing me.
Given you said you headed towards that gate, I'd say you're close enough that it would be in reason for them to have noticed you.
Okay.
It's hard to say, since it looks to be their, eyes and are kind of part of that flame too. It's hard to really look at pupils and really determine. So it's hard to actually say if they actually see you or not, given they don't really have pupils. that you can see pointing towards you, but their head seems to have shifted in your direction.
Okay.
And it looks to be they didn't have the shield upheld in the way they did when you initially were entered. So it seems they must have noticed you as you walked along.
Okay. Do I see anything else of interest from this current view?
Um,
Or is it
I'd
just
say
a
there's
long
like
curved hallway as you explained?
there is one thing as you kind of get close to the walls and these segments. There is a lot of detailed stonework and steelwork, a lot of statues and things carved into the wall. It is so especially even the hallways. It's so detailed and expressive that it actually is like kind of a little breathtaking. It's like this is a very foreboding space initially, but as you kind of get into it and go kind of look closer to each kind of hallway and everything, it is a very decorated space to the point where it's kind of outrageous.
Norlis absolutely has a lot of appreciation for that.
Additionally, I'd say there are some decorative and normative chains along the ceiling of the hallways, or of this particular hallway.
Okay. Norlis will give the Azir a confident nod of recognition, like hello. I see you. Hello. Is the gesture he does.
They seem to look towards you, and you kind of look at their mouth, and they have like these teeth made of like maybe like it's hard to tell if it's the same metal or if it might be copper or something. But they grit their teeth a little bit and then open their mouth and begin to speak.
Okay.
You with the Silver Eater?
Am I with the Sylvator? Is what I have just now heard.
Silver Eater.
Am I with the Silver Eater?
Yep.
No, I don't. I don't know who that might be even.
Okay.
Is that all he says, Ian?
Why don't you know?
I've never met a consumer of silver before. It's not typical in my walk of life. Is it a beast? Is it a man?
He kind of looks to you and spits to the ground a little bit, like a little bit of like
Like an ember.
piece of piece of glowing charcoal
Charcoal,
hits
yeah.
the ground. Not a beast, man.
I've certainly never seen a man eat silver, no.
Should have seen him. Incredible things he did.
How recently was this silver consumer here?
Difficult to say. Month, two maybe. Blue human. 7 days, mayhaps even.
I see, okay.
Sure you're not with him?
I don't believe I am, no. I mean,
Alright then.
I don't believe I look blue nor like I consume silver. Do I? He looks down at himself. No, certainly not. Are you, Truthfully, I kind of expected to see this place abandoned. I wasn't certain that, anything beyond legends lay within these halls still. Are you the only one here currently?
Can't tell you that. You'll have to ask the big guys.
I believe that is more than fair.
Very important for you. Can you speak giant?
I can read it. If it can be written, I can read it. I can speak the language of the elementals, if that helps.
Big guys are picky with that. They're like someone to talk to.
Oh goodness, I wish I learned the tongue spell.
You might want to have a little rest and pick yourself up a book. They don't respect people who can't say it. Can't speak it.
Fuck. Wizards need to be given more languages, man. Why don't we get as many as rangers? I'm a studied dude. Why don't I learn more languages?
To be clear, if you had asked at any point if you could have known Giant prior to now and gave reasoning for it, I'd just give
It
it
wouldn't
to
have
you.
made sense for Nornless to know Giant.
Really?
No, absolutely not.
For in my setting, furbolgs are meant to be giantkin, so it's like it's not. But
Okay, I
but
guess there's in
I
that.
do
That
keep
would
I
make
do
sense.
keep
Yes.
5 elvish things, but because it would seem weird to just remove that. So it is a normative thing.
I
But
more meant like his rearing and raising and his occupation. It wouldn't have made sense for him to learn Giant.
Yeah, given you like kind of it's understandable you would like you might have had a couple words in the past, but it maybe but it's not something that you particularly was raised in. There's just other languages.
If I can try to help Nornless out here, he would have definitely heard Abaddon curse and Giant.
No.
I'm trying to help you out here.
I understand, but no. God damn it. No, there's no way for me to fucking learn. God damn it, if I would have taken skill expert at level 12 like I thought, I could have learned a language. It's motherfucker.
Snowcap knows Giant, but that's not going to help you.
Nope.
I think 80% of the group knows Giant.
Yeah.
I kind of viewed it like Normlist as a group in a community that had like kind of lost that language, and combined with there being a expectation for whatever reason like that Elvish is like a kind of typical language for folks for whatever reason. It's a kind of a like that being kind of a weird thing.
It was hip
and wait, unless you don't speak Elvish, do you speak Elvish?
Nope. I speak
Okay, never mind. Ignore that
I
statement
speak
then.
Sylvan, which is fancy
Yeah,
Elvish.
I'd say you would speak a little bit of Sylvan and from in your town, because village growing up, but also Common. This particular version of Common, like the Alta Nordic, would have just been something you learned, which caused you to kind of integrate well into the human clans you kind of ended up going into, the Boss clan, all that in Gresshelm.
I am surprised. I understand Giants speak Giant, but typically those of the elemental plane, are pretty fond of the primordial language as far as I've been aware. It's one of the reasons I learned it.
Well, might be able to weasel your way through of it, but one thing that I can promise you, that won't change no matter what language you speak. So you're not getting out of here not being a thief.
I beg your pardon?
Whatever you were when you came in here, you're gonna leave as a thief.
Even if I take nothing? How does that make sense?
Just how it works.
Okay, I mean, I can't argue illogical fallacies.
Say it like this. You got in here by breaking a rule. You're gonna get out having to break a rule.
That would make me a trespasser, not a thief, but I guess semantics, criminals are criminals.
All words in the end. Anyway, won't keep them waiting.
I suppose not. I'm assuming it sounds like this Azir is signaling Normless to follow him. And if that is the case, he does so. Ian.
Yes. Well, do you mean follow Azir, or you say that? Can you just state what you said? I think I missed the key aspect of it.
I'm assuming the Azir is signaling Normless to follow him, and if that is the case, he does so.
Cheesecake, does the Azir do so, or do they just stay in their place and just point a direction?
I would say he's been humored by Nornless. He'll show him around.
Okay.
You have a name, friend?
Can't tell you. It's up to the big fellas.
Right. Look, if I'm slain before I get to tell mine, anyone else, I was Normless.
I'll remember it. Got a keen mind for names. Just not mine.
And I follow him.
Roll initiative.
No. No. You end up going along a hallway, and it's clear that this is a very massive place. And given you know it's called it's called Lorgauk's Dungeon, it's becoming clear to you that this place is. Some people like to use it's definitely a place that could be described as a dungeon in like maybe a dungeoneering sense, as in there's people who refer to ruins and other things as a dungeon, but to do so in this case feels both reasonable and unreasonable, as in this is clearly a live space, but it's a live space that feels odd. It's like there's clearly, you can see on the wall, like every now and then you can see things that are meant to be like traps, like you can see like, you know, spike pits you guys are walking past and things. And so it's clear there's that, but at the same time, like you can hear people working in the distance. It's like it's clear that this is a live space, but also has just lots of things to it, both in terms of art and then also the like, I guess, traps. Given you saw a spike pit I just described or just mentioned. There's also, as you follow along this line, bits of lava and also molten ore that you see pouring in little waterfalls. You end up kind of moving into a little more open space as you traverse this hall. And you can kind of see like a small lava pool beneath you as you kind of walk along a catwalk.
Normless idly comments that on the beauty of the stonework, just as they're walking.
It becomes rather clear that this is one particular route, and that all the other doors would led to different places. But as you continue, you kind of you see like there are like little how do I say this? It looks like there's various sections that look like they are either unfinished or more so are remodeling. Like you can see areas that look like, to some extent, as you kind of continue, it kind of looks like they're like some of these places might be extremely old, and others are places where they've, you know, decided for whatever reason to tear things down and build anew. And that's what you begin to see as you continue. But soon, this area you're in opens up, and you come to a very large open chamber. And the sounds of hammers and whatnot can still be present because, as I said, there's these areas that are still working on kind of are almost like holes to different areas. Like you kind of can see, like, look through an area and you can see, like, kind of far down the path of it. Like it leads to, like, there's, like, a wall's opened up and you can see, like, hundreds of feet past it. But again, as you get to this open area, you see what seems to be a fire giant petting a very large bear. And it is doing so along this giant metal-like structure that is overtop a large, like, pit of lava. And this structure is upheld by massive, huge chains. The, like, links of a chain are larger than you, easily. They're like probably like I'd say like 11 to 12 feet across.
Cool.
This area, all additionally, is a little more naturalistic, at least to some extent. There's some rocky material you kind of stretch upon. And you see that there also seems to be some type of strange, possibly magical or ethereal-looking structure, like, or more so like, I guess, bridge to that. And the last thing I'd like to describe is, when I said there's chains earlier, there were consistent chains as you moved along. And every now and then you see, like, weapons and items being upheld by these chains. Sometimes there may be a large, like, hammer that is articulate and looks extremely, like, detailed. Like there's, like, perhaps stories in history carved into the hammer itself, while also looking like something you could barely pick up. Where other things look like maybe more able to fit in your hand, but they might be 60 feet up. But I'd like to mention that before we get to the thing. Regardless, this is what you see.
Mm.
The fire giant in question. What I would say is they seem to have a beard made of fire,
Mm-hmm.
and their armor is rather intensive. It looks like they could take, like, who knows what beating, but it looks like various panels amongst, like, sets. Some of it looks leather. It's possible they have a huge belt that looks like it's a belt of fire giant strength, perhaps, albeit who say they really need that thing given what they are. And they look rather threatening, except they're kind of petting this massive, also threatening bear like it was just some type of, like, household dog. And as you approach, they seem to shift their head and look at you.
I stand tall and give it a nod as I approach, either following the Azer or at this point walking in front of them as they have stopped guiding me and have set me on to walk forward on my own.
Yeah, I'd say, like, once you get to this kind of open area, the AZ would likely stop and just kind of point you to this, which is the end of the hallway you happen to, follow along, which is whatever this creature's lair or maybe even just, like, normative space is. It's hard to tell what this place even is used for.
Sorry.
You come here for what purpose?
I just want to absolutely confirm, what language did he say that to me in?
Giant, you don't understand what he said.
Let me fucking check something really quick. There's very little chance I'm correct.
Run here, Wakuk Undbreer. That's what they'd sound like. Something like that.
One moment, I need to What language do you know? Motherfucker! Okay.
Use your boon points.
I
No.
don't think you can use boon points to just instantly learn a language, unless, of course, he knew it in the past and he like lost it, and he's like
No.
using his like neutron, like giving neutron brain blast power to recall it.
Brain blast.
Or possibly there might be knowledge hidden within the eye, but that's a whole other thing. Albeit using the Norns to learn.
No.
Actually, well, there is one thing you could do. Go on, unless you want me to say it.
Nope. I don't remember so, and I don't have keen mind so. In Primordial, Nornlis will speak to his elemental and ask. The answer is no, mind you. I'm asking. He knows that the answer is no. He's asking it in a means of showing him he speaks other languages that the fire giant might be aware of, without directly asking if he speaks Primordial. So he, to his earth elemental, he asked, "You don't happen to speak giant, do you, friend?" With which the earth elemental responds in Primordial, "No, I do not speak that language." That brief conversation is audible to the fire giant before them.
In what language do you say that?
Primordial.
Okay.
Like, that was a conversation he had in Primordial
Yes, just
with his
confirm.
earth elemental.
They look to you. And they kind of get you a little bit. You down. And then in Primordial, they say, I don't know what life you've lived. But for one to be descended upon the mighty kin, to try something like that, and to not know the language, is sad. Not for your sake, but for your parents, and their parents, and that community.
In Primordial, he will respond, "Yes, I must apologize. That language learning was not within my control, and I've grown in an area in which it is not prevalent enough that I could find a tutor. It is only in recent times I've come around, and I mean very recent, the past month or so, that I've been around individuals in which I could learn this language. I'd wished I'd been given an opportunity more early in my life."
That saddens me.
But Nornalis will then take, similarly to the way he greeted the tiefling ghost, or sorry, the blue ghost, that appeared tiefling-esque.
It was a tiefling.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a detail or if I made that up in my head. He will do
I think I told you, yeah.
Yeah. He will do a very firm and respectful half bow, arm across his chest, and bow nod to the fire giant. "My name is Nornlis Andrin. It is a pleasure to meet your acquaintance."
You understand. I am linguistically pure in terms of my views, but I'll accept this. Even if it's from someone who's proof of a deterioration of a giant kin, the lesser kin of my kind. Now I ask you, why have you come here?
I believe it's succinct to say there's two reasons, and they both play into one another. The settlement beyond your perimeter here was attacked, and I was curious if anything had happened in here, if there was any well-being that needed tending to within these halls. I wasn't sure how far the attack had extended. And
I am
the
aware.
other reason is I was curious. The people of the settlement were not very giving in information when I would inquire about rightfully anything, and I wanted to see what this place looked like. And it's gorgeous.
Well,
I
it
mean that
is.
from the depth of my heart. I only have one. That was not. No one read into that. That was a slip of the tongue. I have one heart.
It is the work of
Sure.
the ancients, of my people, of my... And as they start to speak, they then shift to giant to describe how elegant it is. You don't really know exactly what they're saying. You can kind of guess, but it seems like they just would rather speak in giant when describing the beauty of this place.
I think Norlis is enraptured in the way he speaks despite not understanding. In the same way, you know how to, like, at what point you need to laugh when a joke is told in another language. He is listening with keen ears despite not understanding.
You're a good one. But I must tell you, for your first, I am aware. Did the dome go up? I'm fairly confident it did. And it should be down by now, probably.
Yeah, I do believe something went up to mitigate the ass spreading amongst the settlement, yes.
That and that statue of our wonderful god, Surtur, was created in order to prevent devastation or when an eruption was to occur. It did many other things, but I am also aware that other things may have occurred, and I wish you to know. I am aware of the entity known as Zench. They came here. I had issue with them, but I allowed them to do certain things. For it was clear that something disgusting had been allowed to exist within that community. Something that had seemed to have come and acted as a means for others to hide themselves along, to ally themselves with during a time of strife. Us giants do not meddle at all the business down there. If things go worry, they go worry. But I even know the individual by name. Morotar. A good friend of mine was killed by that individual. Maybe a month ago. And for that reason, but more important, and along with the reason of him having essence of dragons. Ugh. Ugh. It was unacceptable. There are issues with what I've seen, but that particular thing was not acceptable, and I am in the understanding that Zinch killed them, and thus I am fine with whatever Zinch did. Is that enlighten you, or does it make you dislike me?
Knew the man named Moratar. He and I did not get along. There are no societal obligations that I feel tied to in which cause me to wish death upon anyone.
You at the very least don't... I know enough to know that you must greatly despise them, to not even withhold their identity, to call them by whichever you wish.
Despise is a strong word, but I certainly did not get along with them. Death is a sad thing. I feel no joy from it. But I do rest a little easier. Oh, that wasn't my intention.
Okay, I was getting at the
Was
giant
not-
somehow
wasn't-
noticing it and identifying you as someone who's doing that on purpose.
No, that was not my intention.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And I've lost my train of thought.
Okay. I also will say, if you wish to know of the lore of this place, the stories of old, then you will have to learn our tongue. Or at the very least, learn to read. But I'm sure, albeit, it'd be better if you could learn to speak, for our oral tradition is most excellent. I will also state that I do have issues with the circumstances at hand. I understand that the chieftain of that place is dead, but we make our choices when to do things. They might not be the right choices, but these choices are dependent
Dependent
on our work,
on your work, yes.
which may seem silly to you. It may seem pointless, as our work is to maintain this place and to create. Some make vases, others make blades, and others create other such things. Things that are interesting. Magma born alive, but not through the insidious mixture of draconic flame like that of Moratar. You know, this friend of mine who was slain, they had devolved through fate and misuse of Fire of Surtur, and they had been long since I've spoken to them. But I still dislike their death at the hands of a creature like that. Their name was Klauf. Meta question: does Nornless recognize this name?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does.
Okay, because there was a 40% chance that I had somehow put in the wrong name in something, and I had accidentally just said the wrong name entirely. And there was okay, good.
No, I remember who Klauf is.
Okay. I merely used the situation at hand with that Zench figure so that his daughter wouldn't, well, take it upon herself and cause problems. For I know that she would be far more irrational, even if that cretin, that creature, that parasite. For at least it can do things with precision, unaided by emotion. I also may ask you, did you follow in the footsteps of a Silver Eater?
I'm not certain.
This intrigues me.
I don't know anyone that consumes silver, is all I can tell you confirmatively.
That is odd. They seem to, at the time, the Silver Eater, they seemed like one who would stay in that community for a little while, serving upon a particular individual known as Wolfric. Wolfric is one who I understand slayed the chieftain. But are either of those still present
No,
within
not
that
the
community?
Silver Eater, but I believe Wolfric has left after having slain the chieftain.
This confuses me. If either something went wrong, or the circumstances of the chain of events of time, the breaking and formation of things must have come, as in, they must have died or left. It's hard to say, but given that you do not know of them, this entices me still. I must ask. A blade was stolen from here. A blade meant to fit a sheaf of glory, of greatness. Sertologi, it was meant to fit that sheaf. Have you seen this blade?
Blade was stolen, or a sheath was stolen, or both.
I guess you're not listening, or I am being ill-prepared in a language I dare not speak often.
It was confusing the way you were wording things. Completely transparent.
Oh no, it's okay. It works out because this guy's not, he's speaking a language he doesn't really speak that much of.
Ian speaking English. I'm so sorry.
Sad, big sad. No.
I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
It's mean. Okay.
I
Back to the
apologize.
thing.
Yes.
It looks. They kind of shift their eyes a little bit. A blade. A blade that should have the means at which of beheading one if they, in a moment of strife. A blade that should be adept to absorb the fires of Surtur, but without the sheath, it cannot do so perfectly. The sheath is necessary to confine and absorb the fire of Surtur when using blades, in order to create Surtologi, where it is both a sheath and a blade, but not only a blade, never only a blade. It is not Surtologi without the sheath. Or that is what makes it Surtologi, except within the case of... And then they start to speak giant. And they just kind of start to speak in a very intricate manner, as if they're describing, like, a parable. And you don't know what they're saying, but they seem to stop halfway through, as if they realize that, well, it's hard to say if they realize it's like they notice that they know that you can't hear. And they obviously know that, but it's almost like they decide it might not be the best use of time, possibly due to whatever they're saying being very long. No reason to speak alone. Not to say my good little friend here can't listen. And he pets the bear. Skunky Jr. is a wondrous creature. Do a religion or arcana check.
Gungi?
Skunky.
I feel confident I know this. One moment. Okay. You said religion.
Yeah, you can do religion or arcana.
They're
Okay.
both the same roll.
Skunky was Skunky or the bear, or the bear of Skunky, or I guess it's Skunky, was a living Verk fairy of the Old Order clan 1,000 years ago. Meta-wise, actually, well, I'll say, yeah, sure. Meta-wise, you guys never actually found the skeleton, but was in Vetbury. It was the only thing you didn't, it was the main thing you guys didn't see in Vetbury. I was expecting you guys to. But, go back to it. You did at one point travel with someone, Uhtred, who seemed to have had a bow made of bones, and those may have been the bones of Skunky. Or some of them. But as you will understand, Skunky was had basically in the past had been killed by Flager, and its remains were basically turned into bones, which was buried somewhere, taken somewhere. And then a wondrous cape was made. And the main detail that you recall from Literature Road is that Skunky had like antlers. This bear you see before you looks like it kind of might have had antlers. It looks like it has little stumps along its like head that are kind of carved, trimmed out a little bit. It's not super noticeable. It's enough you can kind of pick out of.
Okay.
Regardless, it's bizarre that there be a bear that's one really big, and two, its direct parentage, if Junior is to be implied correctly, died 1,000 years ago. Yeah, that's the other bit if it wasn't clear. Actually, it was implied by being Verkari. You were never given permission to be here.
I wasn't.
Is that correct?
I don't know who I asked to give permission to begin with.
You would wait till a new chieftain was determined. Or you would commune with Surtur himself, herself. They switch between. But Surtur could be a means, but that's within dire situations, albeit it is a dire situation, but that was never done. Given that would require paladinary approval, and approval of at least 2 people who have either seen Surtur themselves, are fire giants, or are directly related to the chieftain. In some situations, a person require having a admirable amount of the fire of Surtur can determine this, but this is also not consistent. That's my understanding of the law of those people, but it may have shifted. It's been a long time since I've looked at the records and standards of these things, and sometimes they change them for some reason. They can't have things be simple as it is, set in stone forever. That's fine. If anything, that's adequate. Or, simply put, you could just wait. Wait for a new chieftain. But you didn't. You came here anyway.
Because one of the other questions I had and my curiosities is, why? Why must we wait? Why must we do things this way or that way? And I wasn't getting any affirmative answers. I wasn't getting told why. I was just getting told, don't. And I don't quite respect the lack of answers here. So I sought them on my
Simplicity
own.
is not what you will find when you ask that.
No, I'm quite aware of that much.
Firstly, whomever... Well, I guess if we begin in the... How do I even surmise this? One aspect of this is that there was a deal that was made long ago. And that deal forbade that settlement to protect us. Not that we needed your protection, but a means of preventing the flow of people, of things, slowing it down. And over time it was determined that this place was special. And that was always the case. This is a space of divine glory to Surtur. This is also the bastion of fire giants. There is no other place like it now. Those on Grund are gone. Destroyed. The gnomes of their machines came through and did things. The fire dragons. The dragons did most of it, I say, through time. But this place alone lasts as our bastion. We need no random folk purveying here. But additionally, it is a space of divinity. Us fire giants are born, accepted by Surtur, and allowed to exist within the space we've created. But for that clan below, and for reasons I think are reasonable, it was determined that you simply cannot simply be here. You need to be given permission in some kind. It needs to be eloquent. It needs to be opportune. It needs to be foretold.
I believe you are speaking in circles and,
I'm saying that one aspect of it simply was
pardon me,
determined by the people.
Pardon me. You are, as a people, granted here access to here through your bloodline. That is what you just finitely said to me.
Yes.
By the
But it
same
isn't.
requirement, so am I. Lesser that I may be, I am kin.
And that's where things get complicated.
No.
We are the fire giants. We are the sons of Surtur. This space was not created by Surtur. It was created by us, in honor of Surtur, and of honor of us. But things in the past have been complicated.
Do parents not welcome their children into their own home?
There is complexity. Let me explain.
No. I insist.
Oh, you wish for an answer of that question?
Do parents not allow their children into their own home? Yes.
If your children are unruly and rip their skin apart and use their hands like blades when they wisp the winds of winter and they spit upon the ashes of what was created, those are not acceptable. Those are not children. Those are monsters. Those are things that were once children. And then there are those who fell astray, those who we can make exceptions for. And that's what you could be. But here's what you need to know. I said it was complicated. It is. This place is not one of true reverence in a consistent way, as in, there are curses that befall this place, circumstances that may be of intended and others that are not. A storied history could be just given to describe each and every one, but simply put, the main thing is that for every person who enters here, they physically cannot leave this space without becoming a thief. Thief in the way that would irritate us. It is a savage curse by Odin, albeit more complicated than simply that. And thus, I respect the determining factors of those of that village to lessen who come here, and I wish for that. There are other reasons. There is plenty to steal here, which is obvious, regardless of the truth of them always stealing something, regardless of their intention. If it were not for that, people would still steal from here. And I guess, in addition of all that, we work. We do our work in our own time, in our own means. I have lived longer than you, much longer. I have toiled the smithy for decades and decades and decades, thousands of years even, if not more. I don't love being interrupted by random creatures, foreigners, entities not found here, interlopers. There is problems that occur. If one has made a sword 10,000 times, it becomes a quest for perfection, and any interruption to that can lessen that chance. When you've lived long enough, these things matter greatly. Can you understand that? I don't believe
No.
you truly can.
If I did something 10,000 times, I do it not for perfection, but because I love it.
And that's the thing. They're not seeking perfection. They've already gained it. And so have, but it's not by the means of any real standards. It's by the standard of the heart, flame. And that can't be true if one thinks elsewhere. What I'm saying is I agree, but disagree in terms of functionality. For it's not true perfection that is gained. It is a perceived perfection. And at the end of the day, that matters a lot. We giants could go and, well, we could siege the land. We could do great things. We could burn the land to ash, but we choose not to. Instead, we have our hobbies, and we like to do them at peace. And when that peace is interrupted, when you've done the same thing that many times, achieving the particular goal you wish, that unnerving presence within us, having been so long, it connects to the very entity that created us, and it shifts the means of flame. The fire of Surtur is a fire of emotion, but it wasn't always that. The very fire giants that remain here, if their work is to be continued disturbed, so will the fire of Surtur. If you've known those who use it and have acted odd, I believe it is partially, albeit not entirely, but partially due to the act of a Silver Eater here. There are two, if not, yes, two fire giants of my allies who I've known for a long, long time, whom I had to bury due to that individual. Their work was gone, and the grieving that was needed. Just continued our work. Some thought of vengeance, which irritated the system. If you don't understand, it's fine. I'm simplifying things in a way that might not even be helpful. The real answer is 500,000 words long to your question, and spoken in this tongue it is not. But I hope what I have said is something you can process.
Much as we possibly could. My mind is infantile in comparison to yours in age.
That's one way to think of it, but don't think of yourself as unintelligent compared to me.
Oh,
I just
would
have
never.
time.
Age is a wonderful measure of experience. It's not always perfect, but you can learn a lot in a little and a little and a lot.
I do want you to know that I think intelligence is important, but it is something that, when applied with the circumstance at hand, becomes upsetting. As in, you are fully aware of what I told you earlier. You cannot leave without, or sorry, not what I told you, but certainly with Betqual must have told you. And he points to the waiting little creature, and I'll type that out.
Didn't you say I cannot leave without becoming a thief? But what if I did?
Well,
Or am I already a thief for stepping foot?
it's complicated, but simply put, to answer your question exactly, leaving out important detail, it would break every bone in your body, and you would die. But to be clear, if you saw a field presence here, you can't leave here via teleportation, or you can't do it safely. Entering here is bidden via those means to protect us from disruptions. But well, I think you might know what I'm getting at.
I mean, certainly I know of places that block teleportation from within, but not from without.
The barrier itself is something that has been corrupted, but also via the structure. There isn't any way to truly fix things except for to rebuild everything that was here from the ground up. And that's something we're not willing to do. And because of that, if you try to exit this structure, it will physically prevent you from leaving until you have stolen something. What that is something that we will miss if stolen. It's never something trivial. It can't be. And that's why it's upsetting. My thing is, if you didn't try to leave here without intention, you'll be running against a wall.
Understand mostly.
If anything, you may be here longer than you wish to be. It's not something that works out in ways you want. You can't game the system here.
No, I'm not thinking of gaining it. I'm thinking of fulfilling the requirements while not disturbing your craft. I have an idea. It is horribly presumptuous. horribly. You might wish to strike me down just for suggesting it, I imagine. But, as smiths, as crafters, as creators, I don't wish to take something that you pour yourself into, such as that. But there is something I might be able to take. It would not ache your heart in that manner. It would be missed, and it would be significant.
My bear. Is that what you wish to take?
No. You are on the right train of thought, though, yes.
I think I understand now.
I'm curious if you are thinking the same as
Perhaps. I feel I am actually not thinking the same as you. My answer, I feel, actually is likely to be wrong, but I wish to say it anyway, since it might shift your perspectives. But I also know the system can't be gained, but given my feelings on the matter and things, I think it works out. Farner is the daughter of that who was slain a month ago. You will find her and leave with her forcibly. Is that your goal? To take one of us with you?
No, once again, no. Nothing nearly as violent as that. I don't know if this would even work, but...
Violent wouldn't be it. They might go willingly. Albeit, not in ways you might like.
No, Please don't strike me down when I suggest this. At least allow the... No, I suppose if you do, I'll just have to fight back. For as long as I may be able to do that.
That is wise of you to have a presumption. There's a reason this place is considered formidable.
Yes, no, I would ask for a sizable portion of your beard.
They look aghast. And then they just kind of like look at you. And they start chuckling profusely. They just find it Oh. That's Oh, you're serious.
Is something that I've never been able to grow quite myself as much as I would like to. I have a little bit, and I don't know as much of giantkin as one might, but I do believe beards are significant culturally. It is not something that would not go missed. It is something that is of significant value, and it is a way I can take something from this place and fulfill the obligation of stealing without impacting on your craft.
This is interesting in a way you might not expect.
Most likely, I am still young.
Before you, the Silver Eater, they came. But before them, it was a human, another human. The Silver Eater was human, I believe. You are clearly not. You are a Furbolg.
Yes.
That man saw upon me, and I had not. Or if I have, well, more specifically, I was in a similar situation to you, but worse. Through my past endeavors with Fafnir, my flames are quenched, and I had no beard. This before you was a gift by that human. It is not true flame. If I am to give it to you, you may wear it if you wish. It may burn your skin, but not due to flame. It may even be alive. Do you know what that means?
Which way does that mean it's of the Flame of Suta?
No. Ha ha ha.
If,
That would be
if not that, then
interesting.
I idea that it is similar in craft to how Moatar came about to be.
Again, you'd be wrong.
I'm used to that one now. Would you elucidate me?
It's an ooze.
Marvelous. I didn't know they came in that form.
If I tap it, it will attain terminal form. But I would wish to you to say, I don't want to give it to you. I like my look. My colleagues accept it. If I wish to truly retain a flame beard like this, like I once had, I could work on it, but it would, well, if anything, I like that who gave it to me. You see, Peterson was a interesting man, but also a thief. He stole many things. He came here to steal. But I kind of was okay with that. They weren't from these lands, they were from the south, yet they've embroidered themselves and lived in here quite a bit. And by here I mean the greater north. Even the lands of, you know what I mean. Probably where you're from. Gresshelm.
Yes.
If anything, the Isle of Gress. They've delved there quite a few. I think they've even had some strays in Oscarval. A great wizard they were, but also a thief. If you know not who I'm referring to, there is another name I think is more common for.
He said Peterson?
Peterson, yes. You've not heard, you don't quite, yeah, Peterson. They said Peterson.
Okay. Understood. No, I can't say that the name rings a bell.
There's a few names, but one is the Blue Wizard. Or the
That
Wizard of
sounds
Blue.
familiar. I'm confident I've heard about the Blue Wizard before. Is that incorrect? Ian? You believe that?
Yes, no, that is correct. That is correct. The Blue Wizard, from your memory,
certainly heard that name before.
Was a powerful wizard and still is. And one thing they did that you have personal issue with is they were a notorious book thief. In one particular instance, which is the last instance they were seen in Oscarval, which happened around 40 years ago, maybe 50 years ago, they stole a huge amount of books, many of which were very rare and very, well, iffy. Like stuff on demonology, stuff on there's a lot of stuff on the abyss, priceless, but also very things that wouldn't just be on normal shelves, and they stole a lot of it.
You see. I have a question. The requirement is that I take something of value that will be missed. Were those the two requirements, or was there a third I'm not quoting?
There are requirements I'm unaware of. The circumstances are shifting. If that doesn't make sense to you, I'll phrase it this way. This place is in some ways alive. As I said, we influence the fire of Surtur, for we are the fire giants. Our work influences that. This place is influenced by us, and we influence it. The curses buzzed upon it through fate and time and circumstance and vile dragons and other things have become part of it as well. Sometimes things are like a monkey's paw. They're cruel. Other times, they work out in ways that are convenient. I'm saying that there may be shifting standards that come and go. I can't say the full story, but sometimes things don't work in the way you think. In other ways, times new rules are made that you never know of. That's what makes this place interesting.
Oh,
You wouldn't
no,
want to be cooped up here for as long as I have if it wasn't.
certainly interesting. That I do not disagree with. I was just curious if on a refresher of the parameters of what it means to steal. Because I had another idea. But I need to know the parameters that as you currently know them. Before I even suggested, I suppose. Something of value, something that will be missed. Before
you say anything, I need you to know something.
Yes.
I don't know how long you've been here. I can only it's entirely possible I am the first fire giant you've spoken to here.
That would be
and
correct.
If that's the case, then the number of things here that you know of are low. There are interesting places throughout this thing. Interesting items. There may even be Verkferi here, actually. Almost certainly. If that's something that interests you. Maybe trades can be made, or maybe not. But I will say, that which I spoke of, Sutaloki, it may or may not be here. I can't really tell you directly, because that would ruin the fun, ruin the circumstance. Actually, what am I saying? Sutaloki's here, just in the context of what I said earlier.
See,
My
question still remains unanswered, though.
Could you restate it?
What are the parameters in which an item is considered stolen? It needs to be of value, and it needs to be something that would be missed. Is there anything else as you know it now?
There are many. Generally speaking, those are the primary things. If you are someone whom is disliked by Suitor, or disliked heavily by the people here, sometimes a cruel effect can play where it's hard to even describe, but it's if per se you try to game the system and try to work things, and we also don't like you, sometimes it can, even if things would work out, it will still fail, and you have to get something that inconveniences you. But that's not really a common rule. I also mentioned that in regard to what I was saying, is things change, things shift here. And that's not even a universal truth of what I just said. They're like, well, changing is, but the impulse of, I guess, us not liking that person, it can shift. What I'm saying is there are reported situations in the past where someone's stolen something and ended up not being what they wanted to steal.
I don't wish to steal. I don't wish to steal at all. That's not why I came here. Was not my intention. But if the parameters, the two key factors, that I must take something of value, and I must take something that will in fact be missed, then I can fulfill those without stealing by what I would consider stealing in my moral code. So here's my offer. And should you not wish to accept it, then I will leave this place. Immediately, even should it mean my death. Norlis reaches into his um his side satchel and pulls out a long, slender dart. Made of wood and iron components, with a wand-like scepter on the other side. And he
Should
points it.
bring less trickery here. I wasn't expecting you to have that.
Trickery or not, it is an item I have. It's an item I've gathered on my travels. It is an item of value that you might be able to use in your crafting. Be it to melt it down to its raw components and make something less mischievous from it. If anyone would be able to craft from the resources from this item, it would be one of you here. No one else in the world would be able to do it. But this is my offer. I will give this to you. And in turn, you will give me something of value, something that will be missed. And I will make my leave.
You misunderstand. Maybe I wasn't clear. That's trade. You're not stealing from us. But actually, maybe you do.
Oh no, I understand the rules as they're written perfectly. And if should it fail, then I will accept the consequences of it failing. More than anything lately, I detest circuitous conversation. I like to see results. I like to come to finite endings. It's dawned on me in my travels that I am an impatient man. And that is a facet of myself I accept. And this impatient man wishes to come to the next part of his journey, even should it be at his end. So yes, a trade. I am trading with you to let me steal something. And by those rules, I am fulfilling the general obligations of what quantifies as theft within these halls. And should I be falling short, that is my own recompense.
I will say right now, I assume the item you're stealing is not the thing I am trading with you.
No.
If it is...
It is.
Oh, good. 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 As long as it's not that. If we trade items, that's fine. But it can only be something if I have consented to giving it to you. Then you can still take it, but you'll have to take something else as well.
I will not.
Then you can't leave.
I will.
It's not... When I said it'll break your bones, I mean you running into the wall.
That is okay.
You're mad.
I am. I'm mad and I am confident. And I follow through on my decisions.
Then I refuse to trade with you. You're going to
Why
have
not?
to steal from me. Because I want you to leave. I want you to see the world. More so, complete what tasks you have.
I
You seem
refuse to be a
interesting.
thief. I refuse to be a thief. I refuse to be a murderer. I refuse to be a grave robber. I will live my life, my death, as I see fit. I will be giving you this item. You will be giving me something that you will miss, something of value, and I will leave in one piece or many.
There was one like you once.
I imagine there are many like me, so I believe there was
Honestly,
one once.
not as many people get through here as you think, but more importantly, not as many people get as far as you see. We used to have more creatures. We used to have hellhounds. We used to have other things, and circumstance lessened those. This place is less dangerous than it used to be, but that doesn't mean much when I'm here. Regardless, I have things to give. Would you like my belt?
Is it?
Or would you like that who died had a brother, and their brother has done some interesting things. By technical standards, I think they're even considered to be a warrior of the North, albeit I don't know if that's accurate to the typical view of things. Regardless, they have a whip. A whip that was lost from them that, well, simply put, from what I can tell, was stolen by Klauf, but
We have the
a
whip.
brother of Klauf found a way to get it back, and I don't know if that was
Logier's whip, yes.
most moral route, but interesting. It's okay. You could go to them. But, again, I told you, by technical standards, and by truth, but it's more complicated than how it seems. This place is one place to obtain Sertologi. And to say that the blade that was stolen was not Sertologi isn't fully incorrect, again. But you understood what I was getting at earlier.
I do.
About the sheath. That's what makes it. I think one of my friends has the bow of Skadi. The Rafroar skull was once here, but that was no longer. It was a while ago.
I would ask for the sheath.
Yes, but I'm not. Simply put, that's gonna take a lot longer to get. But you might be wanting to stay here. We can pull it up if you wish.
Pull it up. I'm assuming that means it's buried within the lava.
Yes, this platform we're standing on helps keep it down there.
And how long do you surmise it might take to get it up?
10 minutes. But that's not the problem.
What might be then?
How much you came here without any fire of Serto within you, which means you can't sense it. If you could sense it, you'd know it's moving. Shifts. Like a fish. The chain will pull it up fast, very fast, for it is deep. Its movements and renders can't be seen well on the surface, due to the density of the molten rock. To hold it is to be one that can hold flame and hold molten steel at its most intensive form. But it is something that can be normalized. It's just difficult. Difficult enough that even we have decided to put it down there. And that's where things get complicated. Are you a chemist?
Dabble.
Okay, well, I'll be honest with you, my main understanding of it is, well, use in enough terms that I don't know in this current language. So I don't know if I can even explain all of that, but there's some chemical things that happen that maybe need to be dealt with before it can really be taken out of here within good guidance. Again, I wanted to make it clear, if your intention is to be fair here, you're going to be here for a long time. You don't simply come and go here. Sabo was here for a day. They intended to be here for, I'm not sure, a short period, but they were here for a full 24 hours, which is not long. It's long for us, but long for them. And simply put, I wish they were here less. That's the first time I've told you their name. Do you recognize it? That is the name of the Silver Eater.
No, I don't think I do. I don't believe I've heard that name before.
That's actually reasonable that you haven't heard it. I'm surprised by happenstance, but it makes sense.
It might have been one of the sessions where I wasn't
It was
there.
someone from one of the characters in the very first couple sessions before you joined.
Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, now. No,
Okay.
I don't believe I knew a Sabo.
We'll stop. I'm going to say that some stuff happens, and we can get back to this.
Okay.
And I know this is a little slower than you're expecting, but this is kind of the point of this whole sequence. I mean, that's why I offered to have you go to do something Tuesday for this. It was never meant to be a quick thing. Can't really justify it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to move to the rest of a party. You mind me doing that right now,
please.
or do you feel like you want to get more done?
No,
Okay.
please. I've been trying to expedite things because I feel guilty and I don't want to
Okay,
take other
because
people's time completely.
this has been a really I think we've done this for I think this is a solid hour of me talking to you. I think, right?
Just about.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Maybe more than that. Maybe okay. I'd like to go back to the party.
Yeah.
I'd say time has passed. A lot of this is real time conversation, so it makes sense to pass. Goalie, are you here?
Golier's not here.
They hit us
Oh,
with
did
a
they leave the
BRB
call?
a little bit ago.
Oh, did they BRB and leave the call?
Yes, I don't know why,
Yep.
but yes.
I need to have an AFK channel or something.
We can do that later.
Yeah. Oh, the worst part of this is when Abaddon was talking about a new weapon. I don't think you heard, so you don't know about. So your plans to get something new for Abaddon are only, I guess, shifting.
Golier's here now.
Yay! Okay, Golier, hello. We're just shifting back to the party after a long time of Nornus, and they're not necessarily even done yet, and that's fine. Who would you heal first? I guess I say actually I take it back. The what am I saying? Actually, no, never mind. The Minotaur wasn't dead. You by this time would have managed to complete the spell. Assuming it takes an hour. Does the person get immediately resurrected, or does it work differently? Okay. Upon waking up, they are startled and confused. They look shocked. Abaddon, why'd he do that? What come over him? And they just start like babbling and speaking, and they look like frightened. They look at their body and they feel like there's something happened to it. They kind of run their hands along where they remember them being cut, and they just kind of like start to like get into a fetal position. And clearly this person looks like they've seen combat before. They don't seem like it's a normal civilian. But given, not every day someone comes back to life like this, especially after, being dead for a little bit, it's like certainly, at least this particular person's not taking it that well. Zunar, I'd say, would try to like kind of help him out a bit. Would you stay to try to resolve things as long as you can, or would you kind of, do what you can there and then head to where the party is? Given this person doesn't really know you that well, it's understandable that like you might not be the most helpful person to be there, but obviously you could explain that you're the one who revived them. Let's see, where are you typing? Okay. Yay. Not I don't know. I guess I am feeling. God, I think I saw I don't know what I saw, but why'd he do it? Sunar, you know him well. Why'd he do it? And Sunar just looks at her, and he looks at like he doesn't. He looks a little upset, but also he made his decision on this already, and so he kind of stands by and seems to try to calm her down. It's complicated, but they're okay now. It was means beyond their own controlled them. She looks back to Golier. You say that's the fickle thing is. I guess it is. I don't. Thank you. We don't have that many clerics quite like you in our neck of woods here. It's so much. Golier's your name? Thank you. Much time has passed. I don't. Okay, good. If there's more, I don't know what Nola would do. Oh, she's okay. Man, I hadn't even spoken to some of the others. I haven't even spoken to Anne. But oof. Am I the only one that's alive? Everyone's dead? The people with 2 others in that room with me? I don't even know. I don't know what to say. They start to kind of shift their body a little bit and start to kind of get on the long seat they're on and kind of put their legs on the ground, trying kind of sand. They kind of tumble a little bit. They try to get their focus. It looks a little upsetting, but you've seen this before. This is not necessarily a new rodeo for you. You've seen all sorts of different reactions from people who've been brought back. It's not a common thing, especially even though like it can be done via the spell without that magic item you have. That magic item that for fairy you have lets you do it without spending enormous amounts of mineral wealth, which is why it's not commonplace. Aslak, what happened to Vim? I don't. Really? Okay. Given there's 2 other people, and one of them technically died that I don't think you guys resurrected. Chose to resurrect. I mean, you could still if you wish to. Are you, as in the prisoner, roll a deception check. unless that's not your intention. Unless you're like, there's a misunderstanding or like yeah. But basically, what happened at the prisoner in case like you were yeah. They basically where the Zench was standing was that, and so that person probably could have been helped a little bit, but because it was standing up right along them, and the Norse cast that spell, no one could get to them, and so they bled out and died. While like this heinous, horrible creature just kind of ignores the existence of a dead, like dying person right there. Like they could, Zenj probably could have done something. They just chose not to. They I guess, enjoyed it. Did we take his body? Did anyone take the body of the dead Lek clansman or person from the Lek clan? Let's see, where's what name did I give him? Bayer. I write these down with tokens. Yeah, Gudrick. It was Gudrick. Did anyone move Gudrick's body anywhere? I think Yugdrill might have done something, but I'm not sure. Jevavu, Snowcap, do you guys know? Abaddon?
What?
Sorry, what's
Did
the
you guys
question?
move Gudrick the human's body, the criminal who was killed by Abaddon? The one body you guys couldn't initially get?
Where was he killed? In the palace or?
Yeah, the palace.
Oh yeah, the palace. I don't know. That wouldn't have been Jevabu. How many people did he kill?
There was
2 or 3?
one person was outright killed by Abaddon. There's 2 people that were left like in states where they were going to bleed to death terribly. Aslak was fixed by was helped a little bit by
Okay, I think
Yugdrill, and is currently in the infirmary, like probably passed out but not dead. Versus Gudrick bled out and died.
I think we got 2 of them. I think we were only helping 2 of them.
So I guess okay. In that case, Aslak was taken and Gudrick was left there. I guess maybe the expectation is people thought Norlis would take them, maybe, but probably not. Yaskar and them got that. Attic helped with the Aslak. Let's see what I thought. I fear Goler Jinli would not have would have to have not known for that to occur. I'd say that Goler, you could also have grabbed him, I guess. It's reasonable for you. My question is, do you choose to revive that person too? Assuming given they died within 24 hours. Assuming that's the thing. I don't remember if they died within an hour or not. I think it's died within 24 hours. I assume. Yeah. Okay. So would you do that immediately, or would you head back to the party? Oh, 10 days. Okay. Do you do that immediately, or do you wait? Because that determines if you're about to be enrolled with the rest of the party. Okay. All right. I'd say that the people in the room would be a little surprised you're doing that, but overall supportive and would view you in a better light. Okay. All right. So meanwhile, and we're gonna end soon, I think, and probably in the next like 20 minutes. Yugdrill's still out doing their thing. Abaddon, Jevabu, and Snowcap. Jevabu at this point is probably still outside, but they can do what they wish if they wish to be make their presence in the tavern. But Abaddon, you and Snowcap are now eating a substance, is a soup with meat that is not the best, and also doesn't seem to be cooked. I mean, the soup is good except for that part. The bone, it's like okay. It's not the worst thing. It's just some of the meat like feels like it feels like it didn't get properly cooked, but like as you like chew it, it doesn't like it's hard. It's almost like it's like inherently icy. Like there's like some parts of it are just gonna be icy and you can't do anything about it because it doesn't warm up in your mouth really. It's actually like kind of weird to eat.
As Snowcap gets the bowl, Snowcap has the instinctive desire to eat the icy bits.
Okay. Yeah, like eating ice out of a cup. Okay.
This is more of a reference to the Yubo thing. The hunter's aim.
Yeah. To make up for, yeah, obviously. So I would say now, given the circumstance, you kind of feel this. You have a sudden feeling as you kind of eat the soup that like you feel like you. It's weird. It's like this burden or expectation has been lifted upon you, lifted from you. Who just left? Oh, they left again. Okay. Okay. That's peaceful. I should probably. I get the circumstances. But we are about to leave out. Um. So. You actually, let me get back at that. You feel like this burden's been lifted up to you, and you kind of almost feel like you feel like you can move. It's hard to say exactly what changed, but you have this internal feeling like it's like this expectation's gone, and I'd say you're moving your limbs around and thinking is slightly better. You feel better about your bodily form and your mental like fortitude. Um, would Jevu re-enter the tavern at this point, or no? I'd say an hour's passed. I think that's fair to say. Or maybe not quite that much time, but around that. Maybe like 40 minutes. Or an hour. Maybe an hour.
No, he's probably
Actually, I'll let you determine.
meditating with Abaddon / bothering
So we're meditating in the...
Abaddon a little bit. Huh? Yeah, we're standing
So in the tavern. Well, Abaddon would be, I think, eating
or
soup
no, sorry,
on the...
not Abaddon, Yugdrill. Wherever
Okay.
I walk wherever wherever we walked off to, yeah. I'm maintaining with Yugdrill and maybe yeah, probably talking to Yugdrill a little bit about the stuff Jevabu just learned, trying to make sense of it. But Yugdrill's just totally not giving Jevabu anything. He's just totally meditating.
There's one thing I could add, but I'm not sure if I want to go about it. Oh, do you think Abaddon's asleep?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wake up, Abaddon.
No, it's okay. This is nice. We're approaching an end to the session anyway. What I would say is, okay, there's one thing I kind of want to do with Yugdrill, but I don't know if I haven't discussed this particular aspect with him enough, so I don't know if I want to go with it. But well, actually, there's a way if I this. While Yugdrill is kind of in their state of mind and like doing what they're doing, there's something a little off about their body. You notice they look like they're calm, like they're peace, like almost like they've left their bodily form in a way that you kind of can get. But at the same time, their fingers or wood fingers or whatever like are twitching a little bit. It's weird. It's kind of like it's almost as if there's like something else within them is doing that, but not like in a parasite way, but maybe like as if there's like a more to them than just like there's perhaps a something else that would cause them to do that. I mean, I guess maybe it could be a parasite, but probably not. Or a wind.
Okay.
You can do some checks to determine things if you'd like.
Yeah, let's just roll an insight check. I'm gonna roll at a disadvantage just because Jev's a little bit flustered. He's trying to meditate, think about what he's trying to think about. And yeah, that'll be a nat 1.
You
Lamau.
guess
He's
that
doing-
they
he's
must
doing
be
a really good
haunted
job
by multiple
meditating.
ghosts, and that there's one of those silly little ghosts is in there and must be doing that. That's what you get for a nat 1. They're being haunted by they have multiple ghost forms in them for some reason. That's your nat 1.
Ghosts, okay.
Yeah, he's haunted. He's a haunted tree. That's what we get for nat 1. Which actually is the right
Spooky.
thing. I don't know if you heard that. Okay. I'd say Attic would sort of approach back to the tavern, and they'd have stuff to talk to Abaddon about. And I think that's where I'm going to end things.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
Okay. We could do boom points, and I want to discuss a couple brief things.
I'd like to give a boon point to Snowcap for keeping me on my toes. I never know what or why they're doing. I don't know if they know what or why they're doing either, frankly.
I know why they're doing it. They're not doing it for random purposes. They achieved. There was a specific reason they ate the hag arm.
Okay.
They have a spell effect that basically sorry,
I don't think
an
you should
ability
be,
from their item.
I don't think.
Oh, I can't tell them. Oh,
I
shit, I'm
don't. I
sorry,
don't
good
think I
point.
should know. I feel like that's
Okay,
for
yeah,
Snowcap
I
to
also
tell.
lied to you. That's not actually what it is.
Sure. Yeah.
That's why I started spell effect. That's not even true either.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Boon point
It's
to
a racial
Snowcat for eating hag arm, weird fucking rabbit dude.
Is it really cannibalism?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes.
If you eat hags are not like humans. They're
Yes,
like
they
this
are.
is like okay question.
They're humanoid.
Okay, actually, this is okay. Wait. If let me phrase it.
If you
If
eat a
there's one,
if you eat a Gardevoir from Pokemon,
Yes.
is it cannibalism?
Yes.
Wait, what? How?
Because it's a fucking humanoid form.
Okay, I know, but if people eat monkeys, okay, sorry. People okay. If you were to eat a chimpanzee,
I
would
wouldn't.
it be cannibalism?
It's so
Okay.
incredibly close to it, yes. I would also only do it if I absolutely had to.
When chimpanzees eat monkeys in the wild, is that cannibalism?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really? It's like okay. I mean, they're different species. I kind of go by within a D&D fantasy thing. I think cannibalism would make sense. Like maybe not would function well within the way you're saying it.
By the same
I think
math,
like
the
if someone eats a tiefling, yeah,
joke
not
about
in a perfect manner.
Snowcap eating a rabbit and being a cannibal doesn't
Well,
count because they're not
is
the same
a-
species.
Albeit hags are also technically not like humanoids. They're like fae and they're weird and
Hags
funky
aren't
and
born; they're made.
more monstrous than a regular
They almost
person.
always start out humanoid.
I don't know. It'd be like eating
is
like the whole kind, not really.
Is a hawk eating a turkey cannibalism?
I mean, I'd say in a
Hmm.
biological like
Hmm.
species sense, no.
Yeah, fair.
Like, yeah,
Suffice-
if it's not the same species or related species, or like if it's in the same genus, we can discuss things maybe. Like,
All right, back to boon points.
okay,
Or is it just
yay.
because
I
like
got
hawks,
one to give.
hawks
I
are
want-
scavengers?
I got one to give.
Hmm.
I'm giving mine to Abaddon. I did not expect him to go and try to eat hag arm.
That's fair.
Snowcap's hag arm.
I think that's fair.
Yummy hag.
Who wants to go next?
It's Jebaboo and you, because Golier left and Abaddon's asleep.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Might want to add Abaddon by the way if you give one to him,
I'll go do that.
or yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give a boom point to Ian, because the the thing earlier was a little bit
Unexpected.
yeah, a little bit unexpected. But I think I already thought of something pretty cool that can come out of that.
Cool. I agree.
Yeah.
Meta
and,
wise, oh, sorry, go on.
well, and then the whole other half, uh, the whole fire giant thing was pretty cool.
If they went to other fire giants, I'd have you go and voice one. It's just I just realized that I wanted to voice the next one, and also if I did have you do that, it'd be you voicing a character I did not discuss much with you for like an hour. I don't think that would work that well.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, I gave Abaddon some basic things to work with, and 2 specific things they had to say.
Mm.
Oh, but just to actually, well, I'll give mine, then I'll save a thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give 2. One to Golier for, well, I mean, for basically reviving that other person, and kind of they put themselves in a situation where, like, well, for one, actually, I don't know why they didn't get in call, but I'm happy they were able to play today. I mean, they must have been busy with something or had something going on. So it's that plus like their choice to basically use their time to help NPCs in a manner that was really meaningful and only they could do, and to help people that otherwise might not necessarily have been priority. Then I'm gonna give one to Normalist for so many things, but there's so many cool like inventive things you did this session. There's like the logic you used, the wordplay for things. Just like that like hour from like 8 to 9 was just chef's kiss, real fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.